All right, so version 1.3 has been teased. Now, I'm a bit late to this, of course, like this tweet was made literally 6 days ago, almost a week from now, but we now know all three of the characters that are going to be coming in the next version update. Now, if we saw from the trailer properly, and just by looking at this guy here, Imbibitor Lune, this is a 5-star Dan Hung, which is insanely cool, just because, like, one, he's a goddamn dragon. Like, look at this art is insane. Now, I am not a big fan of, like, the majority of destruction characters. Like Hook is fine, Clara is interesting. I don't really feel like something for like Blade. Arlen bores me. Like, so destruction characters aren't really ones that I'm a big fan of. But this guy is an imaginary destruction character, and it's, you know, Big Dan hours, you know, the illusion is but a, or whatever, is but a vision or whatever. You know, like, he's really cool looking, and it does make me want to run him and like pull him, because it's just wow. Like, look at this art, man. Okay, I'm done raving about Imbibitor Lune. I think the name is a bit strange. I guess once we like get the story for 1.2, then we'll understand why he's named that, but I don't know. But this does seem like a very common thing that like Honkai games do, where it's like a different form of the same character, but they're a different like star tier. So for instance, like I believe in Impact Third, right, you'd get like different battle suits like that were summonable for the exact same character, but they're different versions of that character that do different things. And that seems to be exactly the same thing that they're doing here, as evidence because this is Dan Hung, obviously, just looking at him, but now he's a different element and he's a different path. So insanely interesting. I can't wait to see what he actually does in game. We won't know for like another month or so, just because we are currently about to get the version 1.2 with Blade, Kafka, and Luca. And then we're gonna go those two banners, get our story in, see what this guy's about. I hopefully be able to trial him within the story. I think that'd be super cool, and then we'll be able to see him with all he can do once we actually get our hands on him in version 1.3. Then we also have Hu Xuan here. So we saw her actually in the story already. She had like this like weird like time manipulation, like gravity based thing, which is really cool looking. Like, she looks really cool. Her voice actor sounds great. Like, everything about this character is really interesting from what we've already seen from her. And I think the best part about her is down here, where we can see that she's actually a quantum preservation character, which means that that brings us one step closer to that mono quantum team that we can run for you know, the Silverwolf Sealy comp, right, where you have, they're basically trying to brute force the entire game with just quantum by relying heavily on Silverwolf's ability to imply an elemental weakness, right? If you have all of the same element, it is guaranteed to be that element. So running this character with Silverwolf, Zila, and then any other quantum character is going to make it so that you are guaranteed to have a quantum weakness on the enemy, so that way everyone can do weakness break, and it's just really efficient brute forcing of everything in the entire game. With that being said, as my favorite team in the game revolves around Zila and Silverwolf, I am going to be pulling for this character 100%. Because not only does she look really cool, she was really cool in the story. I'm very interested to see what her gameplay is like, especially considering that she's a preservation character. And then, like, usually when you think of preservation characters, you think of like the beefy Brawlic people, you know, that had like the big shields. And I guess March doesn't really fit that theme, but in terms of like Japard and the Fire MC, for the other preservation characters that we have, usually it's tanks, like big tanky people. And now we have two just like petite girls as preservation characters, which is kind of interesting, kind of funny to me that they're going to be like the turbo tanks of the team. But I am definitely interested to see what exactly she plays like, and like what actually she's able to do. There is a lot that could potentially go into this, considering she has like time manipulation when it comes to game mechanics is something that can either be insanely broken or insanely lame. So I guess we really just have to wait and see what she actually does. But we did get a tease for Luocha before he came out, So as well as Silverwolf and Kafka. So I'm assuming that for things like Blade and I guess not Blade because Blade's about to come out anyway, but for Fushuan here and then for Imbibitor Lune, that we might be able to get to test them out before they actually drop in game, which would again be really nice, and I would like that a lot. Then we also have Lynx here. Now Lynx is the final piece of that Mono Quantum team that I was mentioning, because they are actually Abundance Quantum. So that means we now have in the same patch a Quantum Healer and a Quantum Tank. So that Mono Quantum team is completely set for a full team there. You got Zila, Fushuan, Silverwolf, and then Lynx. Now Lynx, I think I am the most interested in, mainly because when it comes to like Abundance, Nihility, and what's the other one? Harmony. Those ones, right? Those like support classes end up being the most broken type characters in the entire game. Like if you think back to all the characters that we currently have, Welt, insanely strong, even though he's just a standard banner 5-star. Bronya, one of the best supports in the entire game. Ting Yun, insane. We recently just got what's her name? I'm blanking really. Yukong, she's crazy. I'm using her right now. She is giving me what, like 40% crit damage for free. And then you have Luocha, insane healer. Silverwolf, insane debuffer. Right? These like new like additions to the game that are the support classes are way stronger than what they're giving us for the DPS characters. Again, you can really look at like Jing Yuan, Blade, Kafka. We know exactly what kind of things they do, and they just seem like a pretty solid DPS. And if you really think about it, with this game in particular, you really don't need to have very many DPS characters, but having a strong support system built around them is what really helps that DPS, no matter who it is, shine really well. And now that this one is a Quantum Abundance character, now they are a 4-star, so obviously they're not going to be nearly as like ridiculous. But if we look at Yukong again, like she is insanely strong, as well as Ting Yun. They are both like S tier supports. And even like Natasha is still incredibly solid. As long as Lynx has the ability to remove debuffs like on your team, then they're going to be completely fine and really solid. Now, again, we don't know what they're going to scale on. We don't know anything like that, but all we know is that they're going to be a quantum character that's going to be able to heal us. And again, all we really need is debuffs and decent scaling potential. And then boom, easy. Debuff removal, just complete cleanse, and we're good. Also, it does say that they're a Landau sibling, which is really interesting. You can see the paper, like the photo back here of both Japard and Serval, which is kind of interesting. Like all the Landaus are really cool characters, so I'm excited to see what Lynx does. Now, I'm trying to predict what this character can really do. All we really know, or you can see about them, is that their name is based off of the animal, which is right here, a lynx, as well as they seem to be an Arctic fisher, which is interesting. Like with these two, right, you can kind of tell what they're going to be able to do crazy damage with a goddamn dragon, and then we have already seen her in game and she has like time manipulation powers. But when you look at Lynx, all we have really is Aurora Borealis, that they're winter based, and they seem to have a hot coffee or a hot chocolate here. How they're gonna function and what they're gonna do, I literally have no idea. I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do with this, because like what like even when you think about like characters like Natasha, at least she's a doctor. You kind of know what her vibe is going on just by looking at them. But with Lynx, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about them. They just seem interesting. She only appears introverted and lazy to avoid unnecessary socialization. Like I don't know. Lynx confuses me as a character, but I'm probably gonna get them anyway. Try to get a couple Eidolons in them. So hopefully they're really good. I also really hope that they're going to be on Fu Shuang's banner and not on Imbibitor Lune, because then I have someone on significantly less banners. But that's all 3 of the characters that are going to be coming in version 1.3. I'm going to assume, based on how they've shown off these characters, just like how they did in last patch, that Imbibitor Lune is going to be the first half then it's going to be Fushuan alongside Lynx, just because that's what they did for the last few patches. So yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Let me know which character you really feel like you're going to summon for the most. If you plan on actually adding any of these characters to your main team, just let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.